Welcome to Not for Pie Eaters. I'm John Dougal. For the next several weeks we're going to be in a series. We're going to look at contemporary society and how it's changed over the last 60 years in ways where it's negatively impacted what I call intrinsic masculinity and intrinsic femininity. Today's discussion is on intrinsic masculinity. What is it? At the core, it demonstrates what it means to be a man. And we see it operate every day. When men gather, it comes out naturally. It's what causes men to band together. It's what causes men to strive for a better world for those within the influence of a given man. And women want to be near to it when they see it. And just think of what happens like when a man lives out his courage. It attracts, it inspires, it unifies. There are many instances where you can experience the power of this sort of masculinity, and I would like to share just one, just to perk you up a bit. It's real easy to see at sporting events. I'm a big fan of Liverpool Football Club, and the Liverpool Stadium, Anfield, is an absolute fortress. The passion and the belief of the fans is just amazing. You know, the manly roars when the goals go in, the confidence of the players, the entire stadium becoming one. All of the men, the fans, the players, and the coaches, they're all in the game together. It is all one pack. And the match is all about a question, and the spectacle all about the responding answer. The question is, do we have what it takes? And the roars in the stadium answer, oh, hell yes, we do. Well, there's a song that's sung at the matches and tournament victories that embodies this feeling, this sentiment, and this bond. It's called You'll Never Walk Alone. When the song is sung, a forceful reverence takes over. Men bond, both the fans and the players, and women join in, everyone's included. And the song is a masculine song. It's a call to face adversity, and it's a call to persevere. It's a call to be men and to give 100%. A few of the lyrics are, when you walk through a storm, you hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, or your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. Well, imagine your world filled with that kind of energy when you're achieving at work, when you're on the slopes with your friends, making runs through the trees on a perfect powder day, when you're coaching your little boys or little girls' sports teams, and your family is a team too. You are a pack. You lead with your masculine frame, and the world needs more of that. For today's wisdom quotes, we just have a couple. The first one is from 1 Samuel chapter 18. And the setting for this is just after an armed confrontation between the Philistines and the Israelites. The Philistine giant Goliath had challenged any Israelite to fight him one-on-one. And the young man David took the challenge and prevailed. And so here's what happened. When the men were returning home after David had killed the Philistine, the women came out from all the towns of Israel to meet King Saul with singing and dancing, with joyful songs and with timbrels and lyres. As they danced, they sang, Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands. Well, David killed Goliath of the Philistines, their strongest and fiercest warrior, and the Philistines had wanted to make the people of Israel their slaves. Well, it's in the nature of men to fight for their families, their sons and their daughters, their wives and their homes. And it's in the nature of women to be attracted to that sort of courage and that sort of a man that is a protector, a man who will dare to stand against the threats of the world. Perhaps there are things that we can do to move your life in that direction like David's. For our second quote, iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another, from Proverbs chapter 27. What does it mean for a man to sharpen another? Could it be that one man brings out the intrinsic masculinity of another? Because when men hang out with other men, the pack bonds. Men are unified, and we bring out the best in each other. Over the years, I've spent a small chunk of change on books. Some are good, some bad, and I keep the good ones in my library. One of the very best books is Dr. Louann Brisendine's The Male Brain. It gives a description of how a boy develops into a man and how masculinity forms. In the description, I'll put a link to the book on Amazon. Well, from that book, you can see that development. As boys turn into men, there's a longing and a pursuit of masculinity for the boy and for the young man to determine if he has what it takes. And throughout all of this development, that is the question. Well, in boyhood, it's all about winning. It's about chasing objects. It's about rough and tumble play. At puberty, it's about establishing turf in the male hierarchy. There's some challenge to authority because a young man needs to be able to find his place in the world. Of course, there's interest in girls' anatomy and there's sexual fantasy because the masculine needs the feminine, and so that attraction needs to develop. As a young, single man, it's all about pursuing the women. And then on the flip side of that is preparing to be the man he needs to be when he's caught one. It's about job and money and career development. And then as a father, well, then now you're in it. You're in protecting and caring for the mother and the children, supporting the family. And a big one is a man like that, he wants to be able to do better. He wants to exceed the life that he had in his childhood lifestyle. It's a tough call, but it's what we're drawn to. In midlife, it's preparing kids for their future. It's about your own power and status at work and maintaining that and trying to achieve, as best you can before, your last hurrah and you retire. As an older man, now it's about enjoying what you've accomplished, staying healthy, improving your well-being and improving those relationships. Well, these are masculine traits and they're not feminine traits. It's not focused on caring and nurturing. Our focus and our motivation is different. We're driven by different hormones. Men are influenced predominantly by testosterone, vasopressin, and what's called MIS, or malarian inhibiting substance. Men love achievement, and we're hardwired to join into a hierarchy, into some sort of pack with our mates. And it could be at work, any kind of work, and it's about being part of a team. It's about the prestige of climbing within the hierarchy and being recognized as integral and competent. It's about the team winning. Well, when I was a kid, my father and my father's friends, they were all masculine, every single one. Over the years, however, though, I've seen a decline in masculinity. I was fortunate, however, to be raised and surrounded by masculine men. These men were powerful but self-restrained. They didn't need to prove anything. They knew who they were. They were assertive, industrious, confident, courageous, stoic, and physically and emotionally strong, passionate all the time. Well, society's changed, and we don't raise those sorts of men in large numbers any longer. Well, the purpose of this series is to recognize the way that society has shifted, and then to challenge yourself and ask, do I want to conform to society, or do I want to live better? Do I want to be better? Do I want to prove that I have what it takes? Well, today's video is a bit of a call to arms, and in this series we'll look at areas where society has changed for the worst, and that's where your battle lies. I hope you've enjoyed this series introduction, and here's to the best you.